here now. All these systems and structures being worked on throughout the course of the pre-season, so a little bit of rustiness and lack of cohesion is forgivable, but that's a couple of penalties inside the opening minute. A great opportunity for Gloucester here to put it through the hands. Hastings has that creativity, deft little kick across, and that is a brilliant score inside the opening 90 seconds of the game for Ollie Thorley, the architect, the fly half, Adam Hastings, but it all came from penalty followed by penalty advantage.
You can see their intent there straight away, can't you? Going to a maul. This is a pre-season game, but you know you still have to get your structures in place, and then the arm comes out for a penalty, and that's a free play. And Adam Hastings, no better man to convert that. That's a great kick.
Well, Munster
holding anything in particular. Unfortunately, this could be a HIA for him very early on in the game.
Fairly calm conditions, benign kicking conditions, it must be said, and Adam Hastings takes full advantage of that from the kicking team. It's a brilliant start. Can they recycle with Cronin? Healy, and again they've picked off that pass from the Munster scrum half, and Gloucester will go the length of the field unless Simon Zebo can get there, and he won't quite have the legs to stop Chris Harris, and it's an easy, if there is an easy 80-metre run-in for the outside centre, and a second try of the evening at Musgrave Park for the visitors from Gloucester.
Yeah, that's the third forced pass from their playmakers, isn't it? Like, that was the same position that Rory Scannell threw it at. That's Ben Healy back on the pitch after his yellow card. You know, I don't know, you can't blame the players for that. They're obviously been told to play a certain way and they're trying to go through that, but Gloucester are picking them off now. And it's disappointing because you can see a couple of moments in there, like Calvin Nash came axing in from the outside. He made a really good defensive read. Whatever about the read, he absolutely hit Chris Harris with everything he had, and he's gone very physical. I saw him here last year. I saw him throughout the season last year, and I was surprised at how physical Calvin had gotten. But that was a huge hit. You know, Neely Cronin getting the turnover. Jack O'Donoghue with a massive run up the middle of the pitch. You saw a trademark Ben Healy loop over the top back to Calvin Nash, and you were hoping that they were going to put their own score on the board, but unfortunately it's all ended with one intercept pass, and Chris Harris, the Lion, going 80 metres.
Yeah, cleans it up.
And a simple task then for that man Adam Hastings to knock over the conversion.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, he'll have to be looking at catching Joey Carberry, and I'm sure he'll be confident enough to do that. Technically very good, massive boot, but likewise you'll see Jack Crowley coming on in the second half, who's really hot in his heels as well and looking to catch Ben, and doesn't see any reason why he can't, you know, so it's very competitive there for Munster at the moment.
Chapman has it. Oh, he's played well this half, Atkinson, and he gets it away to Chris Harris, and there's another try here, certainly. They have been knocking out the door, and Chris Harris has his second try of the half. Gloucester have 3, they might have had 4 or 5, but they are very much in the ascendancy here, and it came from that maul which Munster stopped, but once it was recycled, that combination 12 and 13 is working well.
Yeah, and I think it's just that channel, Ben Healy's channel that we spoke about just beforehand. He seems to overchase and get caught. Maybe there's no one on his inside, but he's gone very lateral in that defensive line, and someone as strong and powerful as Chris Harris is only too happy to come in under there and cause a bit of damage. Alex Kindellan wasn't giving it to him too easy though, being an annoying 7, trying to get the ball out of his hands even after the try was scored, so that's it's always a funny matchup.
Hastings adds the extras, does the necessary, and it's all bench. Both he and Kelly having replaced Hurley and O'Connor, and Patterson gets them moving again. Kindellan. Penalty advantage here. Fekatoa, can he get his hands free and get it away to Goggin in close attendance? Crowley now knows he has the advantage. Look to see, was there a kicking option to try and bring in some of his outside backs? They might not need the kicking option. And now they do have their score. Calvin Nash in the corner, and it's taken until the 54th minute of the game. But finally, Munster have a foothold in the game and something to build on, and it's a try for Calvin Nash.
Yeah, I think something you're seeing here is that the Munster halfbacks are actually looking to take that ball a bit more to the line. It might not always be the right decision, but it's putting a small bit of manners on Gloucester, and you can see that Paddy Patterson is now scooting around the ruck. Jack Crowley is testing inside shoulders. I'm sure
Salanoa gets it away, and Shane Daly now tried to get his hands free. Dogba taking a good line, taken on instead by Patterson. Daly tried to go straight through the middle. Cries of offside. It's there instead for O'Connor. Patterson, yeah, he's brought real tempo to the second half, hasn't he? And Munster now look a different proposition, taken on first by Buckley, then by Salanoa, now by Fekitoa, and Munster very close to a second try in a matter of minutes. Paddy Kelly with those long levers and limbs of his thought that he might get there. I think it's Kendellen who's there, and has he managed to squirrel his way over? He's gone under a couple of bodies, and Munster come up with a second try, and how quickly things can turn around in the space of a couple of minutes. Much more energy, much more tempo and purpose, and the net result.
Yeah, the tempo around the ruck is visible, isn't it? And Paddy Patterson obviously bringing that, but you can see when Munster were putting that ball, they're using these sweep plays, putting the ball out the back to their 10s and centres in the first half. They weren't really threatening that line again, but you can see Jack Crowley turning that corner now, bringing it at the defensive line and getting through with Shane Daly off his shoulder. So that's starting to click a small bit now, and you know, a couple of picks through the middle of the ruck. Obviously Gloucester under pressure, starting to fan out.
12 trees now over the top, and space out wide potentially here for Gloucester. Dan Goggin can't quite get there. It's all on the ball placement, and Gloucester have done just that. While they went through the phases, they went the full width of the pitch from this side back over to the far side. Good composure, ball placement was bang on point, and they come up with a try just to re-establish that cushion. 26 points to 12 as we approach the midway point of the second half, with the conversion still to come, their fourth try of the evening. And that will please George Skivington. Having been on the back foot, they've responded pretty well.
Yeah, and I think I got a bit of pre-season games PTSD there from Billy 12 Trees. We played them back in 2014 away from home, and he pulled the strings like that day as well. You know, 33 years of age now, he's still got big passes and a lot to do for this Gloucester team.
So Lloyd Evans from an acute angle all the way over on that far side, albeit the breeze has died down as the evening has gone on. As I said, perfect conditions for what's been an enterprising and entertaining game from both sides. Much better from Munster so far in the second half. There's a 14-point deficit to creep out to 16. That's a really, really good effort.
Because he had that time, because Munster have now either put some manners on Gloucester, or Gloucester may be feeling the pace of the game at this stage late on, but that defensive line speed has gone down a touch, and now Munster have a lot more time on the ball.
And Patterson doesn't need a whole lot of time. Look at the speed and tempo he brings on the hands. Two-man overlap over on the far side, and Munster don't need it, and they get that score. And well, we've waited 74 minutes for this place really to erupt. And now they're on their feet around Musgrave Park, and a really, really good score. Queuing up over on that far side, and well, we've got 5 minutes or so left. We're not done yet. Munster not done yet, but this second half performance has been much, much improved.
Yeah, Ruan Quinn has enjoyed that one. You know, he maybe looked like he was back at Senior Cup rugby there all of a sudden with a big barnstorming carry, but you know, that